in different areas of human activity, bias and corruption take place. This phenomenon can be criticized, but perhaps it will never. In this video, we will recall not all, but some of them. At the moment when the referee was removing the point from Ortiz, he did not take the boxers into the neutral corners. Cortez was also looking at the timekeeper when Mayweather knocked out Ortiz, and the timekeeper was looking at the referee. What was at stake in this match?
Tillery, a boxer, weight fighter, has a sparring knocked out Art Tucker.
Ooh, there's that right
There
here.
it is, and Tillery. Bo feels once Tillery is tagged, he will run and he will hold on. Bo trying to do some of those.
Towards the end of the round, which lasted longer than 3 minutes, Bo dropped Tiller to the floor with a flurry of punches, ending it with a left hook. After Tillery got up, Bo struck him a few more blows before the gong was finally hit. Tillery went up to Bo and began to tease him, and he was answered with a short jab, in which Elijah in turn answered with a couple of punches of his own to the groin and lower leg. Then a scuffle began.
Tillery does a 360, a spill out of the ring.
Tillery was disqualified, to the great displeasure of the crowd and the surprise of the commentators. The boxers met again a few months later, and this time Bo cleanly defeated Tillery with a knockout in Atlantic City. In October 2008, in Canada, a duel was held between the unbeaten IBF super middleweight champion, Romanian Lucian Bute, with a record of 25-0, and Mexican Librado Andrade, with a record of 27-2. Bute looked better during the fight, and in the 10th round he was able to knock down Andrade.
Looked like a push, didn't it, Steve?
Yes. This one there, finishing big time. Let's watch.
There were more than 10 seconds remaining until the end of the fight, but this did not stop referee Marlon Wright from extending the count to the final gong for Bute, who was in a heavy knockdown.
Could be over if he doesn't beat the count. You can't be saved by the bell.
The formal reason for stretching of time in the ring was the fact that Andrade allegedly left the neutral corner during the countdown. According to all 3 side judges, victory in this meeting went to Lucian Bute.
From the neutral corner. An absolute disgrace and that's a terrible move.
In the summer of 2010, a duel was held between the IBO World Heavyweight Champion Danny Green and challenger Paul Briggs. The fight ended in an unexpected way for everyone 29 seconds after the start of the first round. During a special investigation, it was found that Paul Briggs had serious health problems, but kept silent about them during a medical examination. Because of this, Briggs was fined $75,000. In the summer of 1988, a duel took place between the WBA World Welterweight Champion Thomas Molinarius and challenger Marlon Starling. At the end of the 6th round, the boxers exchanged punches, and when the gong rang to end the round, they continued to strike, and Molinarius managed to inflict a devastating right swing. Starling fell, and referee Joe Cortez countered a knockout. The Starling team filed a protest, and the New Jersey Commission changed the result. The battle was declared invalid. The WBA chose to keep Thomas Molinarius as champion, but the Colombian suffered from depression and was forced to release the title a few months later.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm human. I saw the punch as they were already in progress when the bell rang. The punch is already in progress, and he got tagged.
In December 2006, a regular battle took place between Darren Barker and Paul Samuels. The fight began very actively. The fighters exchanged good blows.
Had a bit of quality about him. He was always a little bit vulnerable as well.
But in the middle of the round, Paul Samuels crossed the opponent and almost falls. The judges try to stop the fighters, but suddenly Barker punches his attacker with a fast, powerful jab, and he falls into a knockout.
It was a stunning left hand, and Samuels has just been knocked cold by by that. In an extraordinary incident, the fight is over.
On August 5th, 1988, John Meekins and Mohamed Kawaya held a duel at Resorts International, Atlantic City. At the beginning of the third round, Mohamed gets his opponent with an exact right cross, from which he falls onto one knee and immediately gets up. The referee tried to call a knockdown, but Mohamed unexpectedly adds another blow. The fight continues. Here, Meekins inflicts a crushing swing, causing Mohamed to fall on the floor of the ring. The referee reports a knockdown and continues the fight. John is struggling to finish off the opponent. The referee runs to stop the beating, but John is knocked out himself from blows received. The audience is in shock.
Stopped the bout at 1 minute, 39 seconds of the third round. As he stopped the bout, a punch was thrown over his shoulder. The bout was already over. The winner by TKO from New York City, John Wesley Meekins.
Meekins a very fortunate man right now, looking for a title so desperately he almost lost.
Autumn 2012 at the MGM Grand, Las Vegas. A fight took place between WBO World Champion Manny Pacquiao and challenger Timothy Bradley. The first rounds were a close fight.
So far. Gets another straight left hand onto Bradley's jaw.
Pacquiao, they may have.
Another hard left hand by
Pacquiao's best punch. There it is again.
body shots by straight left. Haven't seen Bradley try to retaliate with straight right. There it is.
Concentrating on taking the left hand away from Pacquiao.
Right hand landed for Pacquiao that time. Bradley gets him back with a left hook. Pacquiao gets him with a straight left.
In the fourth round, Pacquiao sharply accelerated the pace of the fight and managed to shake Bradley.
Predict the way that Bradley's head is and trying to catch him with a left hook. And he's predicting it pretty well right now.
Subsequent rounds passed with the advantage going to the Philippine boxer. In the final rounds, Pacquiao slowed down and Bradley looked more confident than during the previous segments. At the end of the match, the judges announced a very controversial decision. Two of them scored 115-113 in favor of Bradley. The third judge 115-113 in favor of Pacquiao. Thus, Bradley took the title from Manny Pacquiao. In 2014, they again converged in revenge, and Manny easily won the match.
And new WBO welterweight champion of the world, the Desert Storm, Timothy Bradley.
September 17th, 2011, MGM Grand, Las Vegas, USA. The WBC welterweight title fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Victor Ortiz. This scandalous duel brought a lot of controversy and ambiguous comments, and the ending of this fight became one of the most high-profile events of that year. Ortiz looked good in the second round, but in general, Floyd controlled the fight. After a head collision in the fourth round, referee Joe Cortez intervened and took a point from Victor for the header. When Ortiz began to apologize, Mayweather knocked him out with two punches and took away his WBC welterweight title. Before each fight, the referee Cortez pronounces the phrase, "Protect yourself at all times." According to the referee's notes, Mayweather won every round. At the moment when the referee was removing the point from Ortiz, he did not take the boxers into the neutral corners. Cortez was also looking at the timekeeper when Mayweather knocked out Ortiz, and the timekeeper was looking at the referee.
You were in charge of the fight. You were aggressive and trying and taking advantage of what you saw.
You know what I'm gonna do? Because you don't ever give me a face shake. You know that? So I'm gonna go and let you talk to Victor Ortiz, all right? I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you
talking
talking
about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
You won't do shit.
March 17th, 1990, two undefeated boxers clashed in a duel. WBC welterweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez and IBF welterweight champion Meldrick Taylor. This is the first time in history that two undefeated boxers in the top 5 of the pound-for-pound rankings met each other. The hall greeted the fighters with a roar. It was not just a fight, it was a global event. The audience came to watch the drama, and they weren't disappointed.
Okay, shake hands, good luck.
The two things to watch right off the bat are
Chavez had no time to prepare. Taylor was too quick and inventive. It seemed impossible to defeat him.
Taylor lands a vicious right hand.
Taylor worked with a quick series of strikes and then moved before Julio managed to answer. The Mexican focused on head attacks.
The first thing that Chavez wants to do is block the shot. Again, Jim, this kind of fight, this inside fight.
He endured the American's hits, overlapped with coasters, and continued to methodically attack his enemy. Some of Chavez's strikes hit the mark, but there were significantly fewer of them than Taylor's. Still, the American's face began to resemble one solid bruise. Meldrick endured and continued to carry out his plan for the battle. The rounds continued, and each of them brought Taylor closer to triumph. In the 10th round, several of Chavez's strikes landed on target, and Taylor's legs faltered slightly. He was not shocked, but a fracture occurred. The Mexican continued to do his job. Meldrick was wounded. Both his eyes were half closed. His nose, lips, and cheekbones were damaged. He had only to hold out through the last round, and he would become a boxing legend. A minute before the end of the 12th round, Chavez planted a fierce 2 strikes to the head of his enemy. He hit blow after blow, and 30 seconds before the gong, for the first time in the entire match, he rocked Taylor. Chavez took a step to the side and dealt a crushing blow to the right, which the American couldn't see coming. It was a knockdown, 12 seconds before the end of the battle. The referee asked Taylor a simple question: "Are you okay?" Taylor stood up but did not answer. It was a shock. Julio Cesar Chavez combined the titles and knocked out Meldrick Taylor in a fight that had seemed hopeless mere moments ago.